Landers Sports Productions, in conjunction with Telecare, presents the LIPA Game of the Week. Tonight, it's an annual Catholic High School showdown. The St. Dominic Bayhawks, 2-0 in league play, 7-2 overall, taking on the defending champion St. Mary's Gales, 9-1 and 2-0 in league play. Well, hi again, everybody. I'm Barry Landers along with Ed Ingles. It's like the Hatfields and McCoys. You talk about in football, it's Chaminade, St. Anthony's. In basketball, it's St. Dominic's. And, of course, against this great St. Mary's team.
Let's get it on. At St. Mary's, of course, a different team. They're younger this year. They don't have as much experience. But what they do have is a lot of athleticism. They're quick. They've got good team speed. They can hit the outside shot. And because they're young, St. Mary's, they do make mistakes. They're mistake-prone at times, more so than last year's team.
Well, Mamadou Shakate has gone on to Eastern Kentucky. It's a very young team, as Eddie said, only a couple of guys with experience from last year. A couple of them are dandies, including Danny Green.
Yeah, Danny Green is the kind of ball player you want on your team because he can take over a game averaging 20 points, 10 rebounds a game, strong on the inside, but also a good outside player. He's a good all-around player, can take over the game, gets up on the glass, and picks up the tempo when you need it.
On the other side, of course, St. Dominic's lost a lot of their players. They had a rebuild here. They are very exciting defensively. They press. They've got great chemistry. They still can shoot the ball well from the outside. And they love this point guard who waited his turn, Manny Olivo, 5'5".
Well, like Muggsy Bogues, the guy they can compare him to, because playing in the NBA, he is a tenacious defender. He's really kind of a one-man press, Olivio. He's good also finding people in traffic. He gets a problem, it's foul problems, but offensively, he can hit that pull-up jumper. And you don't see a lot of high school and college players today able to hit the pull-up jumper.
All right, so that's the story.
St. Mary's, and is this the kind of game against the St. Dominic's team that you want to see at this point in time because they can give you the kind of test that maybe you haven't had yet?
Yeah, I think this will be a really good test to see how we can handle their defensive pressure, how we can react to all the shooters that they do have. Our help and recovery is going to be a key on this today. Don't know if we are where we need to be this year yet, but we'll find out our weaknesses in a little while.
All right, Tim, how is this team? Of course, you don't have Mamadou who's down in Eastern Kentucky now. How is this St. Mary's team different from last year? Some people say it's got a lot of athleticism, this team.
We have more athleticism than we have, but we're very young and inexperienced, so I think it's going to take a little longer for us to really come together. Danny Green has done a great job. John Agar has done a great job, but our younger kids are kind of on and off, and hopefully they start playing on tonight.
Tim, talk if you will about Danny Green, what he brings to the table as a basketball player.
Danny's been playing great for us. He's doing 20 and 10, 20 points, 10 rebounds, 5 block shots, works really hard. He's an all-around player. He can score in so many different ways. He can change the whole scope of the game with his defensive abilities also, so he really gets it done for us.
Tim Cruz concerned about his lack of depth tonight, but obviously eager to see how his team stands up to St. Dominic. Tim, thank you.
Thank you very much.
That's the St. Mary's story. We'll come back with the other coach.
And joined by their fine coach of St. Dominic right here. And let's talk a little bit, Rob Pavanelli, about your club. You lost so much, 4 starters last year. Everybody figured it'd be a rebuilding year, and yet here you are, 7-2, have played very well coming into league play.
This team has a lot of chemistry. A lot of the players would have played last year who are currently playing. They sustained some injuries last year, but they've really gelled very, very nicely. It's a nice unit.
Rob, you've told me you love the defensive play of this team. Scrappy, they put it all out on the court.
Yeah, it's led by our guard, Manny Olivo. He's about 5'3", and he lays it on the line every possession, and it's really, it's fed to all of our players.
Of course, you've always had the tradition of being a great outside shooting ball club. You still have the good shooters?
We still shoot the ball very well, maybe not as well as we've shot it in the past, but we get a lot more off our defense than we have in our past.
Of course, this is the great rivalry. You go at it every year. Somehow you find a way to stay tough with these guys till down the stretch. What's the keys tonight?
The keys tonight are, number one, keeping them off the boards, limiting them to one shot. We got to take care of the basketball, make sure we don't turn it over, limit their runs, and stop their break, and we should be okay.
What's the key in terms of your offense getting it going tonight?
We have to make outside shots. Their presence inside is very intimidating. They're big, they're athletic, they're long. So we got to be able to get the guards to knock down some shots and create some penetrations.
Okay. Rob Pavanelli will be back with the start of tonight's game in just a moment. Lost a Catholic League game in regular season. That was, of course, to the St. Dominic's club. And they've been turnover prone a little bit, St. Mary's. And the way St. Dom's is playing defense, that could make it very interesting tonight, Eddie.
I think maybe that's a big key, certainly in the first half, how well St. Mary's is able to handle the defense of St. Dom's, led by their two guards, their experienced guards, and the pressure defense.
All right, Kennedy is 31. Number 2 is Manny Olivo. We talked about him. O'Grady off to Kennedy, and he lost it. Back the other way. Up court, and the lead. Up shot, no good by John Agar. The guy we highlighted to open, number 11, John Agar. Off the shot from the corner, no good that time by Rashad Green. Green, a surprise starter. He is the younger brother of Danny Green. Inside it goes to Tyrone Johnson, off the hands of Green. Little sloppy start, recovered that time. And along the baseline, Johnson. Here's Olivo, the little point guard that they've been raving about, the guy we talked about. Danny Green putting it on the floor and rolls around, follows his own miss, and we get a rebounding foul called. Bobby Schwab making the call. We've got two great veteran officials, Bob Schwab and Ron Henderson, working tonight's game.
And you got two teams right now pushing the tempo, both teams trying to get pressure defense to frustrate the other team.
First foul of the game. Green open for the shot, hits the three. Danny Green has got a great stroke from outside. Danny Green averaging about 20 points a game, 10 rebounds, and shooting very well from three-point range. That's his 23rd three.
Yeah, he can step out and hit that three. Good post player, but exceptional outside shooter. Very versatile offensive player.
Got to step it up this year with Mamadou Shikade. Gone off to college. Dave Kennedy off to Manny Olivo, and Olivo missing from outside. Down court they come, ball knocked away, and it goes out of bounds. Both teams with small point guards here. You got Gilbert Montalvo at 5'8" for St. Mary's, and of course Manny Olivo at 5'5". Usually they've got much bigger guards, but exciting two small players.
Yeah, I love to watch the small guards because they can break down defenses. Both of them, they get inside zones and pressure defensive traps, make things happen.
So here we go. Inside, Rashad Green with the layup. The 6'3" sophomore averaging 12 points and 8 rebounds with the bucket at a high game of 20 down in North Carolina. And it's 5-0 early here for St. Mary.
Nice feed by number 20, Tyson Johnson, MVP of the league championship game last year. He plays in spurts, but he played in a good spurt then.
He's a D1 potential player. He and Green, both juniors, and they have a lot of upside. Working it into the corner. Olivo back outside for Kennedy. Spun out, no good, and Green skies for the rebound. The Green brothers have scored all the points so far. Agar, nice inside pass. Danny Green.
You've got to identify Green. When he comes down the middle, you have to step up and be prepared to take the charge. You just can't let him go uncontested in the lane, and that's what St. Dom's did.
So a quick start for St. Mary's. They average 80 points a game, give up 56. They lead early 7-0, 5:22 to go in the first quarter. We'll be back on the LIPA Game of the Week.
Discover the learning opportunities available to your family at the Value Center.
Home court, you fall behind 7-0 against this explosive team, and Danny Green so far leading the way. Off into the corner. Almost lost it. Olivo. Kennedy knocked out of his hand. I'll tell you, Gilbert Montalvo is very quick, Eddie. He was a starting point guard on the undefeated freshman team. He's got great court sense. He and Olivo will be matched up. Olivo got the ball inside. Kennedy rejected by Green.
Well, the thing about St. Mary's, they've got the quick feet and long arms to play that 2-3 zone. They play it very effectively.
Rashad Green, who plays with a lot of passion, tied up, and on the alternate possession, he'll go over to St. Dom's. They need a basket here, Eddie.
They need really quick ball movement, trying to find a seam in that zone. They can't hold the ball, and they got to move it quickly, St. Dom's. St. Mary's move defensively.
Max Mose brings it down. Kennedy from the corner. No good. Those are shots they've got to hit. Hustling for that rebound was Murphy, but it's taken away by Green, knocked out of bounds.
Another thing hurting St. Dom's, they're only going. They're not getting inside looks offensively. They're not getting in the post area against St. Mary's very effective 2-3 zone.
Well, they're excellent outside shooter. They've played well in the non-league games this year and had some tough games in Florida. And right now, Green on the drive. Off to John Agar. Great pure shooter. Pulls up for the jumper. And the rebound pulled down by Max Most. 5'10" senior from Port Washington. Back outside. This is Chris Murphy. Back to Most. O'Grady back outside. They swing it off to the corner. Olivo still looking for their first point, and we played almost 4 minutes.
Can't get inside. They're moving the ball on the perimeter. They have to send some cutters through and try to break that defense. Meantime, what a job Green has done. He's been able to get the ball on the outside. Danny Green be the ball handler and the post-up man inside.
Agar kicks it off to Danny Green in the corner. Green, of course, transferred from North Babylon, along with his brother Rashad. Tyrone Johnson, not an outside shooter, shot clock at 6. He'll put it on the floor, kick it back out to Agar. High arcing shot, no good. And the rebound pulled down by Olivo. Manny Olivo will take it to the hole, lays it up, no good. Everything but finish.
But a good job. Olivo sensed that he had an opportunity to get to the hole, and that's what St. Dom's has to do.
5 rebounds for Green, and we got a ball knocked out of bounds. These referees will let the guys play. They're experienced referees. They know it's a high level of play, and they'll just let the kids generally play unless it gets really ugly.
Well, so far it's been a very clean game. They haven't called very much because there hasn't been a lot of banging out there. It's been more of a finesse game early going.
Looking for their first points, won't get it. Dan O'Grady with a miss, the 6'5" senior out of Oyster Bay. Back the other way, Tyrone Johnson off the glass.
Well, you love the way he can move with the ball. He's going to be a Division I player, can put the ball on the floor, but what he's improved is his work ethic, Johnson.
Knocked away by Rashad Johnson. They can up the lead here. Green will finish, and it's 11-0 with 2:50 to go in the first quarter.
Well, the other thing, too, right now, St. Mary's is doing, they're intimidating St. Dominic's in the early going. St. Dominic's has to play assertively and with more poise and not say, look, we're in over our heads. Right now they're playing really like they're in over their heads a little bit.
Blocked that time by Danny Green. 7.6 rebounds, 2 blocks for Green in the first quarter as he stuffed the drive that time of Max Most. Rashad saves it, but here's Max Most on the drive to Kennedy. Fakes, puts it up, and draws the foul with 2:18 to go. Danny Green will be called for the foul.
Well, you got to run a little bit of your St. Dominic's because St. Mary's is beginning to close on the offensive glass, and they're going to get a feeling they can pound the glass and get extra shots. So when you get the ball, St. Dom's, you got to take advantage of the fact that St. Mary's may be sending a lot of people to the glass, try to beat them in transition, but so far they haven't been able to finish, looking for their first point. And here we are almost 6 minutes in the first quarter, and St. Dominic's has not scored a point.
Well, the guy who has taken the most free throws, 71% free throw shooter, Dave Kennedy, missing. He's their high scorer, averaging 13 points. Had a high of 20 against St. Thomas More. Now they're finally on the board with 2:18 to go, and it's an 11-1 ball game. Jam-packed St. Dominic High School. The annual war between these two teams. Of course, St. Mary's has dominated Catholic League basketball, winning 5 straight championships. And first turnover as Agar dribbles it off his leg out of bounds.
St. Dominic trying to get the cement set defensively and get after St. Mary's, but when getting up on them and getting in their grill, they're trying to make sure they don't leave the lane open for Green to cut through there for the easy basket.
Bobby Kiernan in the game for St. Dominic's, off the miss from outside by Jimmy Burke, who's also in the game right now. It remains 11-1, still looking for their first field goal from downtown. Gilbert Montalvo, the sop out of Bayside, Queens, hits the shot. He's averaging about 8 points, and he's a high of 19 this year, as Kennedy is going to call for the offensive foul.
Also, Most now has made 23, so he's made 20 shots from downtown in 10-plus games. That's a really high percentage for a high school player.
So it's 14-1. 1:37 to go. A nightmare for Rob Pavanelli, whose ball club has played well. Kennedy has picked up 2 fouls, Eddie, their leading scorer, and he's out of the ball game right now. Rashad got it back to brother Danny, and Danny buries the 3. He's got great range.
Yeah, the thing about Green is we talk about his ability to do it inside and outside. That's what makes him so good. And you notice he's very quick in what he decides to do. There's no hesitation.
Well, St. Mary's has blown away teams in the game for the first time tonight. There's a guy who's been injured, hurt his ankle, and he misses the shot from outside. And that is Dwayne Whitfield, averaging 13 points, playing with a badly damaged ankle. He's trying to give it a go here, coming in off the bench for Kennedy with those 2 fouls. But he's a key player on this team. Burke drove, kicked it back out to Bobby Kiernan, and Kiernan lost it. 45 seconds to go. Still looking for their first basket. Tyrone Johnson launches a three, and it's now 20-1.
That's because the last 3 shots taken by St. Mary's have been downtown, and all 3 have found nothing but net.
20 seconds to go, actually 27. Max Most working the ball around over to Montalvo. Here's Montalvo. Or rather Olivo, and Olivo will hit the shot. So Manny Olivo gives them their first basket. Look at Rashad Johnson save that ball. Montalvo knocked away in the lane. Scramble for the ball. 6 seconds to go. Bobby Schwab will finally blow the whistle as they were wrestling for the ball.
Well, St. Dom's still playing hard. You know, they're frustrated, and what they're trying to do here is to get some kind of rhythm in this game, but St. Mary's not letting them do that. If you're St. Dominic's, what you got to try to do is move the ball around, but don't rush it. You want to spread the force and cutters through, but sometimes they get a little bit out of rhythm, St. Dom's, trying to rush the pass and the unforced turnover.
Foul was on Dan O'Grady, inside Tyrone Johnson, and what an exclamation point to an incredible first quarter for St. Mary's. They hold St. Dom's to 3. They outscore them 22-3.
Now, what did people say? Well, this St. Mary's team may not be as good as last year's that went on and won the state championship, but also heard this is more athletic and certainly may not be as deep as last year's, but this team has more weapons than last year's team, is more athletic, and can beat you a lot of different ways.
Well, they lost Mamadou to Eastern Kentucky, Tim Wall to St. Anselm's over in New Haven and to New Hampshire. Billy Clark is at Hobart, and Danny Nolan is at lacrosse playing Georgetown over at playing lacrosse. They lost a lot of key people, but the beat goes on at St. Mary's, and we'll step out. Timeout after 1 at St. Mary's 22, St. Dominic 3. Oh, you can't do much better. Averaging over 80 points a game, you get 22. You're giving up 56. You hold a very good scoring St. Dominic's team to 3. Let's see if St. Dom's can eat into that lead. Won't do it there because Tyrone Johnson now with 9 points makes it 24-3.
Well, Danny Green, who's only a junior, by the way, in the first quarter had 10 points, 6 rebounds, 2 block shots. I think he sold some popcorn during the timeout, too. He did everything else.
Tyson Johnson and Danny Green will be back next year, folks. Banked off the glass by Bobby Kiernan, the junior from Setauket, averaging 5 points. Now, that's one of those shots you do in the horse game, Eddie, in the schoolyard.
I didn't hear him call that one.
John Agar back the other way, pulls up. Got the shooter's roll. He's a terrific pure shooter, and it's 26-6. Can't let Agar get in that lane for that shot.
Well, they're not stopping. St. Dom's not stopping St. Mary's. I know St. Mary's has made at least their last 5 shots.
Whitfield right through the arms of Dan O'Grady. Back comes Danny Green. And look at the little guy get the rebound. Smallest guy on the court coming up at 5'5", Manny Olivo for that rebound. To Whitfield. Tightly guarded by Green. Try to make a move, and that'll be the second team foul with 6:46 to go in this first half.
Well, one number tells you about St. Mary's. I'm sure there's a lot more, too. They came in here making 57% of their field goals. That tells you they can really shoot the rock. It also tells you they're getting good looks offensively to shoot that higher percentage. You don't see that in the NBA, that kind of percentage.
3 for 5 from three-point range, and Kennedy gets the bucket. Dave Kennedy, the senior from East Northport, back the other way. Johnson's pass, and Montalvo will miss. Whitfield at 6'2", solidly built, gets the rebound. Let's see if they can make a run here, Eddie. Manny Olivo, Kennedy again from the corner. Off the rim, and Rashad Green pulls down the rebound.
But they're doing a better job. They're rushing, but they're getting the ball to the open man. It's when you rush and you try to force the ball on somebody, you get in trouble.
Montalvo got it inside to Johnson. Good job tying him up, Bobby Kiernan, with that bank shot. And the ball will go over to St. Dominic. Eddie, you remember the game we did last year at St. Mary's in that bandbox gym? St. Mary's had a huge lead. St. Dominic, 1 point, hit like 12 or 14 in a row to come back in that game. Ended up losing by a big margin, but they made it close on that run. They need a run right here. I don't know if they're going to be able to get it.
Big time run, and they certainly need some defensive stops. That's the key. You got to stop St. Mary's juggernaut offense.
Olivo put it on the floor, lost it. Green to Green, knocked away behind Kiernan, hustling back. to knock that ball away.
The one thing I do see St. Dominic's doing is they're playing with a little more assertiveness, a little more composure, and they're kind of getting over a little bit of stage fright, and a little bit of awe of St. Mary's. Maybe you get whacked 22-3, you decide, well, you know what, let's just try to play our game, and that's what they're trying to do.
They've got a deep bench, knocked away. Johnson recovers. Back out to Danny Green, open three. Olivo wrestled away by Agar, and Olivo battling for it. Rob Pavanelli wanted a call against Agar, but I don't think he got it. And the ball will be just out of bounds, and it'll be inbounded right now by St. Mary.
Gotten a little more grabbing out there now. St. Dominic's is getting more physical against St. Mary's, more grabbing and clutching.
Here's Agar, picked up outside. Agar working it outside. Alik Pauline, number 3 in the game right now for St. Mary's. Shot clock at 13. Agar looking. Baseline Green on Whitfield. Softly rolls it up, no good. Ball knocked out of bounds off of Pauline, and it'll go over to St. Dominic.
You know who's giving St. Dominic's a bit of a good attitude? Dwayne Whitfield. He's in there playing really tough post defense. He's out of Freeport. He's 6'2", he's 220. He plays bigger. He's bumping the St. Mary's players, taking them out of their game a little bit with some strong post defense.
He struggled with his conditioning, had a badly dislocated shoulder beginning of the year, turned his ankle in the last game. Backing it out, Max Most. 16 on the shot clock. Kennedy kicks it into the corner. Whitfield blocked. Here's Green, the outlet. Olivo broke it up, but it's recovered by Rashad Johnson. Agar from downtown. And Olivo may be leading them in rebounds, the little guy. He's got the ball here. Penetrating, and a blocking foul will be called. And it'll be only the 3rd team foul, non-shooting foul, as Manny Olivo drove in the lane.
Well, what you want to see Olivo do, and he can do this, is pull up and hit the jump shot. He's a good penetrator, but right now he's trying to take it coast to coast. He can really get some opportunities. He pulled up at the foul line, took a jump shot.
Back out to Max Most in the drive. Off balance, no good. The rebound to Pauline. Johnson, nice speed. Agar, they work the fast break beautifully.
Well, when St. Mary's gets in the open court, they're really dangerous because they do spread the floor very well.
28-8, a 20-point lead for the St. Mary's Gales. Of course, last year they were stunned in the playoffs. They did not make it up to the shootout. They were beaten in the Catholic League 8 playoff last year in a very close game. Nice cut by Most. Olivo from the corner, off the rim. Ball tipped away, and here they go on the break again. Green, Olivo strips him. Manny Olivo with a nice play there. Cross-court pass telegraphed and intercepted by St. Mary's. Pauline scoops it up. No good. The follow is up and in. And that follow that time by Tyrone Hansen, number 21, a 6'6" junior. He was a shot blocker, deflects passes coming off the JV team.
And he runs like a deer and antelope, too. That's the good thing about him.
Yeah, he's got to put a little weight on. Very thin legs, but he's a leaper. They like him. Tough to get playing time here. Max Most knocked out of his hands. It'll still be St. Dom's ball, trailing 30-8. And Olivo will get a blow as he comes out of the game for St. Dominic. And he's replaced in the game by Bobby Kiernan, 22.
St. Dominic's had hoped to come in here having played good defense, Barry, and have their defense dictate this game. It hasn't done that, and that really has hurt them. St. Mary's has taken away the strength of St. Dominic's, their defense, and pummeled it in the first quarter.
Green, too quick for Whitfield, misses the jam, but you can see why Danny Green is being recruited big time. Had a high of 29 against Kellenberg, 28 against St. John the Baptist, and a good student, Eddie, a 90 average in the classroom.
Well, the thing they always say about him, too, he's unselfish. Tim Cruz would like him to do more things offensively. As coach says, he's unselfish to a fault, and he struggled a little bit early on. Maybe that was it because he's so unselfish, but he's become more involved, and certainly in this game, more assertive, more aggressive, and really has been the main man so far in this game.
Well, Tim Cluse may have had a talk with him. He said he starts games slowly, and then he starts to pick it up. He had a tremendous first quarter, as did all of the Gale.
Yeah, any faster, and I think everybody left the building and said it's all over because Green had the 10 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 block shots in the first quarter. That's a pretty good start, Barry, by anybody's standard.
No question about it. Kennedy will take a seat on the bench with 3 fouls, Eddie, their leading scorer. with 3 fouls. He has really had his problems defending, as has the rest of this team. Kick ball will be called on Hansen, and it'll still be St. Dominic ball, trailing 32-8. Have to be shell-shocked here in their home court. And I'm sure that Tim Kluse reminded his team, I don't know how many guys are left from that team that lost the last time here 2 years ago, the last time they lost a league game, but he reminded these guys, this was the place. We haven't lost anybody in the league except at this place 2 years ago.
He can't use that often as a motivation that we lost because he doesn't lose all that much.
Oh, Max Most on the drive. Ron Henderson with the call. Are we going to get a count the basket, says Ron Henderson. So continuation, surprisingly. And Max Most will get the bucket.
He is extremely quick to the basket. You can see that time. He's been very consistent most. He missed most of last year. And by the way, he's an excellent Division I baseball prospect. Max Most, 5'10", the senior out of Port Washington.
Well, St. Mary's now will inbound the ball. Rob Pavanelli over with Ron Henderson. The basket was good. Was there a foul called? After that, it looked like it was. They got the ball out of bounds because it must have been a rebounding foul, Eddie. It was a non-shooting foul, but then they turned it over themselves, and St. Mary's gets it back.
Well, turnover, St. Dominic hurt themselves, obviously, the first quarter. They've done a little better job of protecting the ball, better ball secure in the second quarter.
Tyrone Johnson getting a rest. Danny Green will play the ball, show his ability to bring it up. Green brings it into forecourt, guarded by Agar. Green back to his brother. Now Danny Green off the rim. Back outside, intercepted. Here's Manny Olivo in traffic, puts it up, and a blocking foul will be called. And I'll tell you, he's not afraid to challenge Manny. The kid out of Long Beach, Eddie, was the 7th man last year. We talked about his defense, but he loves to take it to the hole, penetrate, and he's good at finding people in traffic, they tell us as well.
Well, what he does, he puts a lot of pressure on the defense. If you don't get back, he's going to burn you because he can control that speed dribble very well. So he's not only fast, but he has good control of the dribble and makes that first free throw. And for the year, hasn't been shooting the ball all that well for the foul line, only 50%.
That basket that was scored earlier by St. Dominic disallowed right now. They said the foul was committed before, so it is now 32-9 if you're scoring at home right now, as Olivo will try to put him in double digits.
If you're St. Dominic's, that's the last thing you want to hurry. They took a basket away from you.
So Manny averaging 8 points, hits it down court, slipping in, nobody back, and the easy bucket right there. And the lead now is 34-10. So Pauline, out of Jamaica, averaging 6 points off the bench with that last basket. Alec Pauline, a 5'10 junior. Most, guarded by Montalvo. He'll take a three off the rim, no good. And as he went up for the rebound, Hansen was fouled.
Well, Tim Kluse said the biggest concern about this team, other than the youth, is the fact he doesn't have the kind of depth he's used to. He figures he's can only go 7 deep and be comfortable. But the 7 we've seen, you don't need much more behind that, do you?
A lot of talent. Pauline getting some playing time here, the kid from Jamaica, on the drive, and he's fouled. One of the advantages, of course, that St. Mary's has is that being on the border of Nassau and Queens, they do attract a lot of Queens players over the years, outstanding players in Queens. And when you have a great tradition, of course, Catholic basketball in Queens, you've got a lot of powerhouses in the city, but St. Mary's has been able to gather some of those city kids, along with the great kids from Long Island, to give them such an incredible run. 5 straight Long Island championships in Catholic League basketball.
Well, they sure get the good ones showing up at the front door, don't they? They haven't had a problem doing that, St. Mary. Tim Kluse has done a wonderful job recruiting, but also give Tim Kluse a lot of credit beyond that. Not only getting the players, he knows what to do with the players. He gets them structured, but he also, if you notice, gives them a lot of freedom to express their individuality. And when you got a team this good, you can allow your players a lot more freedom and not be as structured.
1:40 to go. Incredibly, it's a 26-point lead here. From the corner, way off on the shot that time. And that shooter was C.J. Erickson, the guard, who missed that shot from the corner. C.J., a 6-foot senior out of Syosset. Now Montalvo working it with 1:18 to go. Looks like they're playing what, Eddie? Are they man or are they in a zone right now? Looks like they backed off.
Well, what they've done is that they'll show you a zone and then match up out of it. But they're playing zone, and what they're trying to do is to trap a little bit, but they're not quick enough to do it.
Look at that rebound inside by Rashad Green. They say he's got maybe even a better upside than his brother. He plays with a little more high energy. He's very quick, first step, very athletic, goes after every play. Danny's sort of a kind of a mellower guy. If you watch him out, of very smooth, but Danny plays with a lot more passion. 6'3.5". This kid, they really love him. He's 12 points, 8 rebounds, like his brother was last year, just a sophomore this year.
And they also like the way Rashad Green plays post defense for a sophomore. Does it very well. Coaches always like that when they get a young player playing defense.
Burke forced it up, no good. Ball batted around, fake, and the shot off the glass, no good. Just trying to get the ball up. That was C.J. Erickson, and he'll go to the free throw line. C.J. will get a couple of free throws right here.
Well, you put Erickson in because he's a hard-nosed, tough kid, doesn't get intimidated. We'll go do the dirty work for you, get inside. And right now, St. Dominic's is not getting offensive rebounds, and they don't have any post offense.
He had a high of 9 against St. John the Baptist. Smart player, as Eddie said, boxes out at 6 feet. Nice shooter. Of course, St. Dominic's doesn't have the size they've had in the past. 44 seconds to go in this first half, which has been a stunner in all St. Mary's. They lead it 36-12. Montalvo running the show, looking for help right now.
1-2-2 zone. What they'll do when the ball goes inside, they'll try to match up on people, I think, out of this.
Green, actually they can hold for just about 8 seconds differential on the clock, so they're doing a little keep away right here. Green, 6 on the shot clock. Hansen, Agar stumbles, lost the ball, and ball goes out of bounds. Shot clock goes off, and it will be St. Dominic's ball with 7.6 seconds to go. Some of the fans doing a little coaching and refereeing in the stands behind us.
They always do. You want to get your dollar's worth, right?
Max Most trying to give him something positive, and he will, as the first half will come to an end on that shot as Max Most hits the drive. But it was all St. Mary's. I guess they set a tone early here, Eddie, as they came out and just ripped to a first quarter incredible lead, and now they lead right now by 36-14, a 22-point lead.
You'd be hard-pressed to find a basketball team like St. Mary's, not only in Long Island. You have to go to New York City because they have a team with a lot of tall, athletic players. At a high school level, you don't usually see a team that can put 3 or 4 players out there one time with long arm spans, quick feet, agility, ability to run the floor and finish as well as this team does. I'm impressed by the way St. Mary's finishes. High school teams often go down, they miss shots. St. Mary's, when they get in their offense, they haven't missed many shots. They shoot 57% from the field coming in, and they pretty much did that the first half against St. Dominic.
All right, big crowd on hand, and they've seen St. Mary's put on a show at St. Dominic's home court. We'll be back with our halftime guests in just a moment. You're watching the LIPA Game of the Week on Telecare. With the trailing in the game 36-14, we'll reset the lineups for you and give you some of the leading scorers. And St. Dominic coming up with a turnover here. They've got to cut into this huge deficit. It's going to be an uphill battle. Max Most, Kennedy playing with those 3 fouls. Will take it to the hole, misses. Tyrone Johnson wrestles the rebound down.
Well, what St. Mary's also does is they can test the shot so well, they make you alter the trajectory of your shot.
Agar with that last drive. John Agar finishing. He has 6. And we'll give you the updated scoring in a moment. Kennedy back outside. St. Mary's has made 3 for 9 from 3-point range, shooting 52% from 2-point, and very, very well right here. 11 for 22 from 2-point range, and 4 for 4 from the foul line. Can't do much better than that.
Well, David Green had 7 rebounds for St. Mary's as they outboarded St. Dominic 17-8 in the first half.
Danny Green, a terrific player, had 12 points to go along with those rebounds in the first half. Johnson had 9, Agar 6. Agar now with 2 more has 8, looking for more. Missing Johnson the tip, kept it alive. Rashid Green battling for it. And on the jump ball, the held ball, the ball goes over to St. Dominic. Let's reset the lineups for you. Kennedy in the ball game right now, 31. Working in the backcourt right now with the exciting little guy, Manny Olivo. Max Most they generally play with 4 guards, and the other guy's O'Grady, and this is the guy from the corner, shaking the shot. Murphy missing, and the ball tipped out of bounds.
Now, nice job by Oliva to draw the defense and the kick to the corner, but you got to make those shots, but that's not an easy shot that deep in the corner on the 3. St. Dom's has to find a way where they're comfortable taking shots and start making them.
Olivo swings it back to Most. Most thought about it in the paint. O'Grady, and a blocking foul, count the basket, and Mr. O'Grady will go to the line to try to complete the 3-point play. 6'5" senior from here in Oyster Bay. A good interior defender, not much offensively, Eddie, averaging about 4 points a game.
But he did a nice job. He went into the big guys of St. Mary's, and they've had a lot of problems. They haven't had any post play at all. He was very cool. He got inside. He kept his composure and a nice soft touch. Didn't rush the shot. Didn't put up with an anvil, and got the deuce.
Basket not counted. We thought it because they took the ball out of bounds again there, Eddie. Second time that's happened, and Rob Pavanelli unhappy with that call. So it stays 38-14. They had put it up on the board. Well, it's a hometown scorer.
And I went through a nice dissertation about how good the shot was.
Well, it was good. He finished, but the referee didn't give him the bucket. Now Johnson hammered under the basket. So Tyson Johnson with 9 points. We'll give you his rebounding total. He's been a force on the boards as well. Johnson goes to the line. 6 rebounds for Johnson out of nearby Great Neck, Eddie. You mentioned he was MVP of the league championship game last year, and had 22 against St. John the Baptist. He plays in spurts. They'd just like to see this guy play a full 24, 28-minute game because he is physically imposing at 6'5", 220. They want him to be more aggressive. He's naturally strong, but play with a little more passion.
Yeah, started to show that the last few games on the glass. He averages 7 rebounds a game. He's already got 6 tonight. That's an indication that he's working hard.
Well, averaging 14 points a game. Olivo, guarded by Agar. Now Agar backs off as they go into his zone. And
pack it in a 2-3 zone. What they're saying, make St. Dom's shoot from the outside and make outside shots. Don't give anything inside.
Olivo with the shot clock at 10. Most. Olivo drive with 6 on the shot clock off the back rim. Rashad Green looking to push it up, and he travels. So a little too much.
Now, St. Tom's going back the other way. They're going east and west instead of north and south. Olivia finally got inside the zone and attacked it. You can't go back and forth on the perimeter. You got to find a way to go inside. That's it. Dribble, move it. Good.
And Olivo with the finish, the assist to Max Most. So Olivo with 4 points, back the other way. Agar will back it out. We'll reset the lineup via Agar to Rashad Green. He's 33. Brother Danny Green is 24. Montalvo is 5. That's Montalvo. And a kick ball with 18 seconds to go on the shot clock.
I think Gales do a good job of is they really balance the floor and they spread that 2-3 zone at St. Dominic. They make it expand out in the middle and make you come out. And what that does, it opens up seams so they can dribble penetrate against that 2-3.
Working the ball outside. Agar. Montalvo with the 3. So the sophomore from Bayside, who's been very consistent, who played on the freshman team, good stationary shooter. And he showed his nice 3-point range there.
Now you break the zone. I think that's the 4th shot they've hit from downtown. They hit 3 in a row back in the first quarter as they married.
Levo a little out of control on that drive and hustled after the rebound, but it goes out of bounds. Well, when you're 5'5", it's tough finishing those drives. You may be considered a Muggsy Bogues, but unless you can jump like Muggsy Bogue and dunk, it's going to be tough on those drives.
Yeah, he hasn't got much of an opportunity to score against St. Mary's big people. What he's had to do is kick it out of the perimeter or to the side.
Off the miss from outside by Rashad Green, Tyrone Johnson banks it home. And the lead is 45-16.
The other thing about St. Mary's, they have the people, have the size, the athleticism, the wingspan, but look how they box out under the glass. They do an excellent job fundamentally of boxing out and really make it look so easy because they do a clinic, St. Mary's, right now, rebounding.
Timeout on the court, and the Gales on a roll. They lead it 45-16, 4:12 to go. And we'll have a comment from in just a moment as Whitfield back in the game misses. Follows his miss. He's tough on the boards. Misses again. Tyrone Johnson gets the rebound, and outlets now to John Agar. Joe Giannotti's going to give us a comment from the official, Ron Henderson, on why that basket was disallowed earlier.
In high school, there is no continuation rule, so if the shot is not taken before the foul was committed, it is no basket.
Okay, that's right, Joe. Good work. And Craig Filizzola going to update us on some of the stats in just a moment. Max Most. Tough defense. Kennedy in the paint and fouled. One of the things when you go in the paint against these guys, they're such good jumpers that St. Mary's will block a lot of those shots and not commit the fouls, Eddie. That time they did commit a foul, and Kennedy will go to the free throw line.
Well, David Green reacted late on Kennedy. Playing in a man-to-man, Danny Green reacted late, getting to Kennedy, gave Kennedy an opening there to shoot the shot.
So Kennedy, their leading scorer, now hits the free throw. Kennedy has struggled. He has 4 points tonight, been in foul trouble. Dave has another younger brother on the team.
His brother Sean played up at Marist as a point guard, was really an outstanding point guard. The kind of point guard was an old-fashioned pure point guard, set up his teammates, hit the outside shot, had a really outstanding career at Marist.
Nice job of breaking the press. Green for three off the rim. Whitfield with the rebound at 6'2". Whitfield playing with that bad ankle. Brings the rebound out, averaging 13 points and 11 rebounds. He beats Southside with a great shot at the buzzer. Blocked by Green. Recovered by Whitfield. He'll muscle it up. No good. And Danny Green with the ball. They've got the break here. To brother Rashad. Back to Danny. Looked like he traveled there and he caught the ball, but he laid it in.
Such wonderful hands, even when he bobbled the ball, didn't get flustered, just second chance, grabbed it, laid it in like he does it all the time.
So Green, 9 rebounds and a ton of points. We'll give you his point total in a moment. Hit a shot from outside by Kennedy. So Kennedy with the bucket and off the turnover. One of the rare turnovers. Blocked that time on the outside shot, Bobby Kiernan.
They're so good, St. Mary's, at blocking shots, so you really got to use head fakes and ball fakes to create scoring opportunities against them.
Kennedy with 8. We'll update Danny Green's numbers in just a moment. Agar from the corner. Bullseye for John Agar. Great pure shooter, Eddie. And you got to love his stroke. Great form. And he's made 41% from three-point range. 30 three-pointers already with just about 10 games into the season.
And he almost landed in the stands on that shot. That was really deep.
Green right now with 14 points, 9 rebounds. Now and 4 blocks. Back the other way, pulling up Agar, and it comes down to Whitfield. 50-20. Incredibly, it's a 30-point lead here. Bad pass by Whitfield.
You can't have the big guy dribbling around the court. He's got to get rid of the ball, give it to a guard. Whitfield did a bad mistake there.
Rashad Green the miss, and brother Danny missed it. Little helter-skelter right now. Kiernan, Bobby Kiernan. And off the drive, no good. And the ball goes back over to St. Mary's. Checking into the game, Greg Spatola, number 10, missed that last shot. He's getting a little playing time, the junior guard out of West Babylon, tightly guarding right now. Shot clock down to 15. Outside to Rashad Green. Agar. Danny Green driving on Whitfield. Tipped out of bounds, and it goes over. Good defense that time with 6 seconds left on the shot clock. St. Mary's turns it over.
Good job by St. Dominic's moving inside on the paint that time defensively. Hands were active, feet were active. Now what they got to do, one of the problems they're having now, anytime they get close to the basket and shoot, they're a little bit intimidated. They expect the shot block to come. They're not intimidated. They're altering the trajectory of their shot, and that's making it very difficult for St. Dom's.
Spatola, nice feed. Kennedy couldn't finish as he slashed down the lane. Spatola, Kennedy hustles after it, trying to save it. Jimmy Burke, and did they call a timeout? Did it go out of bounds? I guess they got a timeout, Eddie, with 28 seconds to go. Well, they've had a great history in this basketball program at St. Dominic. You go back to Ralph Willard. You go back to Rick Pitino. Both coached here, and high school coaches, both played here at St. Dom's. Rob Pavanelli's done a terrific job in his years coaching here in his 8th year. They were state champions back in 80 and 81. and he played on that team, coached by Ralph Willard. And right now they're trying to do some positive things here, Eddie, with the remaining 9 minutes in this game.
What I like about St. Dominic, they don't quit. There's no quitting these kids. They're diving all over the place, trying to make things happen. They don't want to go out of this building feel like they gave anything less than their best. And it's not for lack of heart that St. Dominic is losing this game. It's showing a lot of heart.
And St. Mary's defense, a lot of people feel come playoff time, and they've got a player on the bench who hasn't gotten in, who'll be eligible late in the season. We'll talk about that later. That could give him a huge lift when he's eligible to play in the state playoffs. But here's Kennedy back outside. 10 seconds left in the quarter. Now down to 7. Whitfield to Kennedy. He forces it from the corner. Danny Green with the rebound, his 11th rebound to go with 14 points and 4 blocks as the third quarter comes to an end.
Pretty much same old, and this game really set in the first quarter when St. Mary's jumped out to a 22-3 lead. St. Dominic's did not get a basket in the first quarter until 7 minutes and 45 seconds had elapsed. St. Mary's hit 3 straight threes in that first quarter that really broke the game open early.
Well, St. Dominic supporters hoping their team can come up with a good fourth quarter. We've got 3 in the books, and it's been a blowout so far. St. Mary's 50, St. Dominic 20 on the LIPA Game of the Week. Just thank to the auto body and collision folks at Sears, Bill Rich, Computer Associates, LIPA, all of our great sponsors. And right now, St. Mary's with the basketball, Tyrone Johnson. Inside, slashing, missing, John Agar. And Whitfield with the rebound. We told you that Wayne averages 11 rebounds. He's their only really physically big guy in the game. Of course, they got foul trouble early with Kennedy. O'Grady is in there at 6'5", but he's got to get a little muscle on him. Working it around the corner, Spatola. Back out. This is Kiernan. And the ball knocked away. Bad pass. Here's Agar. And we got a whistle on the drive. Not many fouls called in this second half, Eddie. That is only the second team foul. And we've had 2 team fouls for each team.
St. Mary's is so quick to step in front of St. Dom. Whenever the ball gets loose, they use their quickness to step in and get the ball.
From the corner, Rashid missing.
I think Whitfield, once he gets in basketball shape, gets over those injuries, and really gets in basketball shape, can be more of a factor for this team inside. Nice play that time by St. Dom. Hard to the last goes
Bobby Kiernan slashing with a bucket, averaging 5. And Craig Filizzola knows a little something about Bobby Kiernan.
Yes, his dad is a teacher, a math teacher at Carr Place High School where I go to. And he's also a girls basketball coach, and we're going to be doing a game later on. So we'll get a chance to see him, his dad coach.
And something to cheer about for St. Mary's as John Agar finishes and draws the foul. Eddie, speaking of upcoming games, we'll be at Carl Place for Craig Filizzola night when Carl Place will host a doubleheader. We're looking forward for that later in the month of January. But coming up later this week, what a battle. Uniondale and Freeport. We're going to do that boys basketball battle. Both teams 9-0 at this point.
Yeah, you love to have a matchup like that early in the year. You're going to get a chance to see Seawright, an outstanding player for Uniondale. And Freeport really has put together a string of some really outstanding football and basketball programs. They've done an excellent job the last 4 or 5 years, the Red Devils.
Bobby DeBonis losing the heartbreaker. Remember, we were there in the semifinals. And then, of course, Farmingdale made it to the finals last year and was knocked off by Uniondale. Uniondale went on to play Walt Whitman for the Long Island Championship. And Tom Diana losing to his good friend at Whitman. So right now, Whitfield puts it on the floor. Most against that zone, matchup zone. Whitfield, Olivo from the corner, spun out, and Johnson with the rebound. Up to Danny Green. Green will put it on the floor and lost it. Olivo 3-on-2, but he's going in the land of the Giants. Blocked by Danny Green.
Danny Green really came from behind. Let's see what they call that, Barry. That's not going to go away without standing. Olivo liked the call.
5th block by Danny Green. He has got a grade up to him. Danny Green at 6'5", and he averages a couple of blocks a game. In fact, 5 blocks a game. That's his average, Eddie.
Yeah, he's done everything. The problem with St. Dom's that time, they ran the break. They really didn't space the floor. They ran right in the paint. It made it easy for the blocks to come because they didn't get it spread out.
Pauline, Alik Pauline, 21. Johnson out to high, backs it out. 8 on the shot clock. Johnson nearly lost it. Pauline from the corner short. Whitfield with the rebound. 53-22.
Yeah, St. Mary's getting a little ragged. It's hard to keep it going for 32 minutes when you're winning a lopsided game. And here's a chance for St. Dominic's now. Get a little pride back and make a run on St. Mary's, make it a little more respectable.
Whitfield missing the 16-footer. He has, we said, been out with some injuries and hasn't played much. Danny Green having a terrific game. 14 points, 13 rebounds, 4 blocks and a steal. Olivo in the paint, blocked by Green. That's block number 6. And Danny will see if he can finish that play. And he just tossed it up.
And to be showtime, Tim Cruz wondered what that was all about. He's going to call him over and talk to him about that. Kind of losing their focus here, St. Mary's. And what St. Dominic's has done is they haven't lost their focus. They come hard defensively, and now they're forcing some turnovers because they're showing better quickness, playing with a more assertive feeling. They were tentative at the beginning, and they got blown out. Now they're playing harder. And if they started the game this way, St. Dominic, it would have been a closer game.
No question they were shell-shocked, scoring only 3 points in the first quarter, falling behind, what was it, 22-3, Eddie?
Yeah, 22-3 at the end of the first quarter.
Oh, they have never been able to cut into that margin. And in fact, they've extended the lead to 31 points right now, 53-22. Montalvo looking. Green, nice dish off to Johnson. And as he went up, Whitfield commits the foul. So Tyson Johnson will go to the free throw line. Tyson out of Great Neck, as we mentioned, averaging 14 points, 7 rebounds.
The thing about Danny Green, he's got 6 block shots. What I like about him, his timing on those blocks are impeccable. And most of the shots he blocks, his team gets him. There are guys who block shots, and the team that shot the ball gets them back. So nothing happens. But Green's block shot, and his team has used those block shots to really trigger the offense for St. Mary's.
Johnson missing the free throw. He's a 69% free throw shooter. You mentioned he had a high game of 28, 22 against St. John the Baptist. Struggled early at the foul line, but he was 12 for 12 at the line of the St. John's game. Misses here again, and Whitfield brings it down. Whitfield off in the corner. Green, and that is Kennedy with the shot. Danny Kennedy back in the game, makes it 53-25. Kennedy right now with a total of 11 points. So he's 11 of his team's 25.
Yeah, got in early foul trouble, came back in the second half, made some things happen, but St. Mary's answers right back as Montalvo doing a nice job.
Montalvo hitting the shot. O'Grady posting up on Johnson. Nice move.
Yeah, that's what you want to see. Begin to get some inside play for St. Dominic. You're not going to win this game, but you got to start building for the next games ahead and develop inside post play. And Grady's giving you a little bit of that.
Agar got a nice pass off to Johnson, and he was fouled by O'Grady as he went up. 3:48 to go, and they're going to just call it an inbounds pass coming up here. O'Grady coming out of the game, and he'll be replaced in the game right now by C.J. Erickson, the 6-foot senior guard.
Well, O'Grady is 6'5", 190, a senior. He has the potential to give St. Tom's inside game. He's known for his defense, really has to work on his offense. There's Montalvo again, knocking one down from outside.
Montalvo buries that one from the corner. Montalvo with 12, and the lead now is 59-27. 3.5 to go. Kennedy spun out. Good rebound inside, and that ups the lead. Jimmy Burke, the shot, the 6-foot senior, averaging 4 points with the offensive rebound bucket. Montalvo against Olivo. Montalvo's got a good handle. You know, you don't play point guard for Timmy Cluse unless you could be a good ball handler, and your turnover ratio isn't going to be bad, and that guy can bury him from outside, Danny Green.
Well, you know, he's only a sophomore, Montalvo. Came up off the freshman team. Really, they liked him because of his passing work and his ability also to work very hard and understand the game. And they think at St. Mary's, before he leaves there, Gilbert Montalvo the 5'8", 150-pound sophomore from Bayside, will be very special. Just needs to mature, get more experience.
Off the miss by Pauline, Green missed the rebound, and we get substitutions made. And let's see if Danny Green's going to get a seat on the bench. Nope, he's still in there. And we'll set the lineups for you. Reset them for you. A lot of substitutions. Brian Sheehy now in the game, number 12, working in the backcourt. That's Brian with the ball. Out of Syosset, junior guard. C.J. Erickson, 13, got it inside to O'Grady. He missed. Good job wrestling the ball away by Erickson. And we get a tie up there as Danny Green and number 55, Jimmy Burke, both hold the ball.
Well, St. Dominic's has emptied their bench. It's now time for Tim Cluse to empty his bench and not play his regulars against the subs at St. Dominic's. And Tim Cluse has sent 2 players in. Really not fair to, when you're leading by 30 points, to keep your starters in, and the other coach to set up the white flag by bringing in his subs.
Well, it doesn't be a very long bench. There's only 4 guys on the bench. They only came here with 9. Agar for 3. Rasheed Green got it and traveled with 2:09 to go. And the Doms will get the ball back.
Well, Tim Cluse said coming in here when he talked to the pregame show, that was his big problem, lack of depth, and he only felt he had 7 competent players. But get the sense when this player from Cameroon becomes eligible, that will take care of that problem, any depth problems, and also give him insurance in case there's an injury to St. Mary's, which you always got to figure.
And again, don't forget our next telecast will be Massapequa and Freeport girls basketball. You'll see it next week right here in Telecare. Massapequa with a great team. At Freeport, Ernie Kite's doing very well this year. And then, of course, we've got a substitution for St. Dominic's right now in the game. We'll pick it up for you. It's Brandon Serrano, number 21, 6'5" youngster. And they hit the shot from the outside right there. That, I believe, was Sean Kennedy, number 3, the 3rd Kennedy brother.
Yeah, and he stroked it like his brother who played at Marist. Beautiful outside shot, nice mechanics.
Back out now, St. Mary's with some substitutions. At 32, Sebastian Sabella, just up from the JV. Number 32, a 6'2" youngster. Also in the game right now, number 15, Randy Fuertes, a 5'10" junior from Roslyn. Rashad Green, number 25 with the ball right here. And that is Tommy Nolan, the 5'10" junior from Manhasset, whose brother Dan was on that terrific team last year, now playing lacrosse at Georgetown. So they have cleared the bench, Eddie, and everybody in the game right now with a very impressive 30-point victory over the team that figured to be their closest competition in the Catholic League this year.
Well, I don't think Tim Cluse can now start preparing for the state playoff, but he has indicated right watching his team today that they're going to win the Long Island Championship. I'd be amazed if they didn't. And in a way, he can start getting ready for that by bringing a player along from Cameroon to give him that extra dimension he's going to need if he's going to beat the New York City schools along the playoff road.
Heath Fuchs got that last rebound, 6'5" junior from Huntington. He's number 20. Of course, St. Mary's will have to go in as an A team, a double A team. They've changed the classification. And that will do it as this one comes to an end with a stunning, overwhelming St. Mary's 62-32 victory over the Doms of St. Dom's here on their home court. They'll meet again late in the season in the final regular season game, and that'll be at St. Mary's in Manhasset.
Well, that's, as far as St. Mary's, really, Tim Cluse has got another powerhouse of the work, and he's got enough people coming up underneath, too, young players, that he's building for the next 2 years. That's the story. We'll be back with our post-game show. You've been watching the LIPA Game of the Week on Telecare.
And the results came out, got the victory.
Last time I checked, you had 6 blocked shots in this game. What's the trick to being able to block a shot and also make sure when you block the shot, your guys get it, doesn't go back to the offensive team?
I can't really tell you how to block shots. It's just timing. It's something you can't teach. You just got to do it. Something you can't teach. Blocking shots, it's not easy, but it's not hard. You just wait for the ball to go up and I just go get it.
Now, Danny, I want you to let me hear a little secret here, because Tim Cluse is not going to tell me this year's team can be better than last year's team at Hamamadu. But what do you think? Has this team got the potential to be better than last year's team, St. Mary's team?
We definitely have the potential, but right now we're young, so a lot of our young players don't have confidence, once we get the confidence and once we keep working hard in practice, I think we'll be better than last year's team.
Final thing, why were you able to build that 22-3 lead in the first quarter against St. Dominic and virtually take them out of the game in the first quarter?
Came out with emotion. We knew exactly what they were doing. Coach prepared us in practice. And we just executed, played defense.
I'm going to turn to your coach. He can't say many bad things about you today, Danny. You're in good shape. You can take 6 hours off anyway before the next practice. Tim, I know you like your team, but you never expected this to happen and knock St. Dominic's out so quickly. Why were we able to do it?
I think our defense was really strong in the first quarter, and we didn't really turn the ball over. Danny did a great job with the ball for us early, and I think it didn't give St. Dominic's chance to go on their runs that they normally get with their threes and everything along those lines. So I think that's why we were pretty effective early in the game.
Tim, I noticed that you give your players quite a bit of freedom. It's a structured game, but you don't discourage them from creating on their own, do you? Give them a little freedom.
I try to give them a lot of freedom to try to do things within a system, to understand when they should go one-on-one, what's a good shot, what's not. And I'll yell at them if they don't take a good shot, but I want it to go up if they're open.
In terms of the way this team played in knocking off St. Dominic's today, what did they show you maybe they hadn't showed you in the first 10 games this year?
I think they played pretty consistent for almost the whole game. We had a little let up in the second quarter right before the end of halftime I wasn't too happy with. And we came out in the third quarter strong, which meant a lot to me.
Now, looked at your roster. You haven't got a lot of depth, but you only have one senior on this team. You got to feel pretty good about this group.
Oh, I'm really happy about the future of this group because I think the kids work extremely hard, and as we physically and mentally develop, I think we can be a really special team.
Same here as Coach Tim Cluse. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
That's the player, and that's the coach. We'll come back with some closing comments with Barry right after these messages.